Water is a very critical resource. Of its many uses, one of them is the role it plays in the generation of electricity. Zambia depends highly on hydroelectricity as it is the major supplier of power utilized in the country. The northern part of Zambia receives consistent rainfall which causes it to have considerable quantities of water. In its effort to relieve the heavy reliance on the national grid for electricity supply, ZESCO has small hydropower stations in the northern part of Zambia that serve the community around them. Projects are underway to upgrade the existing power stations, and the proposed sites have been located for new small hydropower stations to be constructed. This is solely to take advantage of the availability of water that is in abundance in that area. The existing mini power stations are Chishimba Falls, Shiwangandu, Lusiwasi, Musonda Falls, and Lunzua. The planned potential sites are Ntumbachushi, Kalungwishi, and Mumbuluma that are situated in Luapula province. The small hydropower stations differ in their generation capacity and yet contribute immensely in creating access to electricity in their local regions. Mr. Levison Mwava, who is the acting power station superintendent for Chishimba Falls Power Station, gives us a brief background and more details on its generation and the area it supplies.
Chishimba Falls Power Station comprises of two schemes, which are A and B. And the two schemes came in 3 stages, I would say. The first stage was the installation of the 3 units, which each is rated at 300 kilowatts, and that was in 1959. The second stage was in 1967, when one more of 300 kilowatts rated unit was added, which means that forms now Station A, which comprises 4 units, each rated at 300 kilowatts. The third stage is for Station B, which has 4 units and each is rated at 1.2 megawatts. This came in the year of 1971, and from the 2 schemes, that gives us the 6 megawatts as the installed capacity for this station. Chishimba Falls, we are getting water from the Luombe River, which we are using as a primary energy to generate electricity. We are operating in the island mode, that is to say we are not connected to the national grid. We are supplying our generation level of voltage is at 3.3, which we are stepping up to 33, and then we evacuate to load centers for our colleagues in distribution. Battery, the demand in Kasama exceeds the station capacity, so that is to say we are only supplying the part of Kasama, and the excess is taken up by the national grid.
Shiwangandu Small Hydropower Station is located in Shiwangandu district, that is in Muchinga province. This power station also plays a major role in supplying electricity to the community surrounding its vicinity. Mr. Stephen Mbau, who is the power station manager, gives us more information.
This power station is one of the mini hydros and small hydros power station. This power station was constructed in 2012. It was commissioned on the 5th of December 2012. The reason for construction of this power station was in order to give supply to this area. As we may be aware that Shiwangandu was declared a district, and in order to sustain development to this area, the government thought it wise to bring up this power station. The power station houses 2 units which are rated at 500 kilowatts each, bringing the total capacity of the station to 1,000 kilowatts. We get our water for generation from the river called Mansha. We have a dam upstream where this water is stored to form a reservoir. And this primary source of energy, water is led into an open canal, and then it's led to the 2 units, which then convert this water energy into electrical energy.
Musonda Falls Small Hydro Station is found 62 kilometers from Mansa, Luapula Province, and is currently undergoing an upgrade that will see its generation capacity increase from the current 5 megawatts to 10 megawatts that will benefit the area and beyond. Mr. Ruben Simwinga, the acting power station superintendent, gives us an overview of the Musonda Falls Power Station to date.
Musonda Falls Power Station was first sited in 1956. Then in 1958, the works commenced, and in 1958 same, the civil works started, and these were covering the bridge was constructed. That's where the intake is. Then the diversion weir, then the transfer canal, then the forebay, the penstock, and finally the powerhouse. These works, the headworks, were done in the same year, 1958. Then in 1960, the commissioning of the 2 units was done, because all these works were just covering 2 units, that's Unit 1 and Unit 2. And these same units were of capacity 1 megawatt each. This same unit at first were covering the whole region of Luapula. But the 2 units, when were commissioned in 1960, they were supplying the whole region until when there was some demand, the growth, you say, then it couldn't suffice to cater for the whole region. So there was a need that this power station be expanded again. So the station in 1974, they added 1 more unit, which brought the station to 3 megawatt generation capacity. So they were generating and supplying the whole region again 3 megawatts. Still, with a growing demand, it could not cut and suffice. Then again, there were addition of units 4 and 5. And this came in 1985. You know, the 3rd unit was added in 1971, and 74 the work started for the units 5th and 4th, which was commissioned in 1985. So in 1985, the station had 5 units of 1 capacity. So in total, it was giving us 5 megawatts. This 5 megawatts was just supplying the region, which is Luapula. But due to the growing demand of power was needed high in some areas, there was an introduction of national grid into the region, whereby the Musonda Falls Power Station could only supply just 2/3 of Mansa. About the 1/3 was now supplied by a national grid, and these other regions like Chembe, Samfya, and Chilubi, they were all now on national grid. So we continued supplying on Musonda, which is supplying just 2/3 of Mansa, until the year 2014, when some feasibility studies were done. That's way back in 2009, that the station could be operated. When it was first commissioned with 2 units, that's generating 2 megawatts, the station was just using a runoff. There was no storage of water, where we store water for the generation. But with the introduction of the 3rd unit, there was a need that water be stored. So they also constructed, that is 1974, when they constructed, they added 1 more unit. They also constructed the storage dam, which is about 9 kilometers from the power station as a reservoir. So this same reservoir is the one when they also introduced the 5th and 4th units, reserve water which we were using for the generation of the power station. The same main dam has got two gates which we are controlling manually because there is no power at the main dam.
Lusiwasi Small Hydropower Station is located in Serenje district, and the water utilized to generate the electricity comes from Lusiwasi Power Station Dam. Its generation capacity is 12 megawatts. This power station is also strategically positioned to supply electricity to the surrounding population with the much-needed power that fosters economic growth. Another small hydropower station that is benefiting from the hub of the water resource found in the northern part of Zambia is Lunzuwa. This mini hydropower station, which is in Pulungu district, generates 14.8 megawatts. ZESCO's migration to the northern side of Zambia for the construction of small hydropower stations is justified by the abundance of water that flows in the many rivers and the waterfalls that are found there. The planned potential sites will increase the capacity of electricity generation, reducing the load and demand from the national grid and boosting rural electrification in the process. Ntumbachushi Falls are situated on the Ngona River in the Luapula province. The other sites are Kalungwishi and Mumbuluma Falls. members of the rural communities that are benefiting from the different small hydropower stations in their areas are grateful to ZESCO for the reliable electricity they enjoy due to them being on these grids. Lamek Chisha, who runs a barber shop, Mr. Moses Musonda Kanyanji, a tailor, and Mr. Ara Mukandu, who runs a shop, live in Musonda Falls and speak on how electricity is helping them and their livelihoods.
Netotera pakalamba pafo bazesco batiretere kuba filisho wa malaiti. Bantu wakare tware shuti kwa sana takware bopata malaiti. Bantu yale twafilisha sana muno market yarerengo kutira turere ane fya kurana vyashi bandi. So ine ntinde dasha sana bantu uyantanshi bure konkanyapo. Bantu emo muno mbapa shopu abura malaiti de kutira ngwati. So ndetotera pakalamba pafo bazesco na batirete yako uyantanshi bukalamba sana.
Turabomfya mashini ya malaiti kairi muno mu grocery turashitisha mona ma drinks kundu mo kutware kwata ma problems ku malaiti nomba amalaiti tatukwata ma problems panwawe kai ture totera na bazesco pamusango wakwe bati power station yesu kuno bale ichita extend icho ichikalengo kwe bati kuntanshi chikawa mineko pantu ninshinomba tukalaika la fyomo abutana manda yesu monse mukaba malaiti kanshi tureto tela ku company ya ZESCO na kubuteko bonso kutira obubuya ntanshi batwalirire na kambi na fimbi fya pala ama resources na ambya alefa ikakuri no nchende na tuishi bana tukabiro kwe bati naba nensu bambi turamona bala landa kwefya kwisura mamaini fya kuchitashani na tuishi bokwe bati fyonse fintu fika bafye bwino kuntanshi kanshi bazesco apa epatali pakuleka mutwalirire mukubombera pamona ifufu ebantu
pano pa Musonda na ikala po imyaka okufuma 1978 okufuma 1978 ndetotera kuli bazesco kumulandu wa malaiti pantuta kunu mo kukwali ubu malaiti ale kwata ko bwafya pali no nsta malaiti ta yakwata bwafya ichecho ndetotera kuli bazesco no buteko pafyo balelele kisha pafya malaiti na ikala po imyaka ingi sana kufuma 1978 kufika na lelo amalaiti tayakwata nombo bwafya iyo ero kabiri ndetotera kuli bazesco no buteko pali ifika ili batampi balundire ko power station na kana fyonse fileta ubuyantanshi kuli bale abakwe utati basa kupanga kwa fya factories so ndetasha sana kubuteko na bazesco.
Mr. Paul Chikwekwe of Kasama also alludes to how electricity is making his business run smoothly and the positive outcomes he is having due to the Chishimba Falls small hydropower station. He appreciates ZESCO for making his life better.
I am very happy by running my business very near Chishimba Falls, because we are not a victim of load shedding. We get consistent supply of power from ZESCO power station. And I find it very difficult to stay in Lusaka, especially the past few years when we had regular load shedding at the time. While here we are enjoying consistent power. That makes me very happy. And I hope the same situation will continue, if not better, since we hear that very soon our Chishimba ZESCO power station would be upgraded. So that also gives us hope that we will not be victim of load shedding anymore.
ZESCO is working tirelessly to ensure that electricity reaches all parts of Zambia, and the small hydropower stations are contributing to this vision. Electricity accessibility comes with opportunities for the citizenry to develop and transform their lives economically. As this commodity extends to the rural areas, the chances for economic growth are being given to all, as ZESCO's intention to power the nation is gradually being realized.